This skinny young man was applying for military service, but because he looked too sick, he was rejected. Even with a stunted appearance, he was bullied and couldn't do anything, but he possessed more intelligence than humans. He had the most courage. Because of those qualities, he was chosen as a super soldier to lead everyone. Also dating the most beautiful woman in America. The name Captain America was born from there, and that is also the name of the movie I'm telling you about. Back to that young man, his name is Rogers. Although being denied joining the military, he still did not give up his resolve. That day his friend, James, took him to an exhibition. Here he was fortunate to meet a kind doctor. He's Abraham. The doctor seemed to have seen something extraordinary about him, so he specially allowed him to enlist, and so his desire to join the army came true. He joined the military service. He looked too small compared to his teammates. The exercises are very difficult for him. He was even played badly by his teammates, but he never gave up. During jogging time, the trainer pointed to the flag and said, "This flag means we're halfway there. The first person gets it can be sat on Agent Carter's car." All tried to climb after listening, but the person who climbed the highest was only a few meters. That flag has been there for 17 years, no one has ever taken it. When the teammates gave up, he slowly came. No one could guess what he would do. He gently pulled out the pin below. The flagpole slowly fell down shortly. Rogers picked up the flag to everyone's surprise. Stepping into the car, Carter smiled gently at him. That was the first time she had feelings for this young man. Doctor said he wanted to choose Rogers as super soldier, but the colonel didn't want to. A skinny young man, he thought, wouldn't do anything. Doctor said he valued qualities that transcend muscle strength. After that, the colonel took one grenade. He pulled the pun throwing straight to where everyone was training, and shouted for all to know. In that dangerous moment, everyone ran messily. Only Rogers alone ran to lie on the grenade, while shouting everyone back. Finally the grenade did not explode, because it's just a test. Rogers' personal sacrifice earned him a perfect score, in the eyes of Colonel, Doctor and Agent Carter. The next morning, Carter took him to a secret base. He met a doctor there, the place where he was chosen to become a super soldier. Preparations had been completed. All government officials held their breaths waiting to see if he could make it. Serum began to be infused to Rogers. Although in pain, he did not scream. The finishing stage began. The bed was slowly raised. Metabolism caused extreme pain. There was a time when it seemed like a failure. Doctor asked to stop, but Rogers inside shouted, "I'm sure I can do it." Finally the serum infusion was done. The moment the machine up, Rogers in front of everyone as a tall and muscular super soldier. The name Captain America was born from that time. Carter was so nervous. She looked at him surprisingly, like she wanted to eat him. Even her hands accidentally touched his chest. Shortly after, a German spy hid the bomb. He stole the serum and killed the doctor on the spot. Cap immediately ran to him. He seemed to tell Cap to do his first mission, that is to catch that spy. Cap ran out. He saved Carter. Right then he jumped up and he started to run. He ran very fast. The body of a super soldier gave him strength and speed no one can compare. But the change was too fast. Before he fully adapted, he fell. No problem. Cap stood up and continued running. Finally, he jumped into moving cars. Then clinged to the spy's car. He shot him several times but failed. The car rushed forward very quickly, then crashed into another car and overturned. Cap jumped out, and the car flipped many times on the ground. But the spy came out like he was okay. He stole a child, pointed gun to Cap, and forced him to step back. He shot Cap but the gun was out of ammo. At that time he threw the child into the water, forcing Cap to make two choices. Cap ran to the boy. He told Cap to go get him because he could swim. Cap chased after the spy again. He jumped down and followed that man's submarine. He has been a super soldier so he swimmed very fast. He caught up the submarine quickly. He punched and broke the glass, dragged him out of water and threw him onto the shore. Cap climbed, and kicked a strong hit in the mouth. "Who are you?" he asked. He bit a suicide pill. He said that, "Cut one head and more heads will grow." That is the Hydra organization. A few days later, Cap heard confidential information reported by Carter. It was his friend and 150 American soldiers were arrested. They were held at the enemy base. He went to ask the colonel, and it looked like there wouldn't be a rescue. Cap then decided to go to the enemy base to save everyone, and his best friend. That evening, a plane departed, and flew straight into the enemy base area. The pilot is the inventor Stark. Carter told Cap a lot. She cared him as if the two were already in love. When he arrived, Cap jumped into an enemy car. He saw two enemies inside. After a while asking each other, the two guys were thrown out by Cap. He safely entered. He got inside. He sneaked in and beaten the man. Unlocked for everyone. Cap asked everyone for his best friend's location. He didn't forget to tell everyone to get out quickly. After saving his friend, he would meet all at the appointed location. Soldiers began to get out. They steal the tank. All of them were armed with destructive weapons. The bullets fired very powerful destructive power. The enemy troops started to panic. Seeing Cap overwhelming the troops, the leader of the Hydra organization timed to bomb the entire area, so he would have a chance to escape. Cap ran into a secret room. He found Bucky, his best friend. Cap began to help Bucky out. At that time the timer bomb exploded. The destructive power was very terrible, but because the two had managed to run upwards, they still had time. Finally he met the head of Hydra and his doctor. He began to take off the mask, revealing the face inside which looked scary. He told Cap very moral things, but then he ran away like a coward. Below the bomb was exploding closely. If not getting out in time, all would die. Bucky moved forward. He jumped and could hold onto it, temporarily escaped. But the road had collapsed. Cap was stuck. Below the bomb exploded closely. Cap took the momentum back. He wanted to do a very far jump. He jumped. The explosion also happened, and after that no one knew what the outcome would be. Only I know, Cap couldn't die. The next morning, he and his teammates returned. All were mostly safe. They even obtained a lot of the enemy's destructive weapons. Everyone inside was lined up in 2 rows. They applauded him as a hero. The man willingly plunged into the lair of the enemy alone, destroyed the base and saved all your teammates. Of course the colonel is very proud of him. Carter appeared. She blamed him for being late, also raised her eyes and looked at him lovingly. That very night, everyone who was talking had to look outside. Carter stepped in. She dressed splendidly. Cap and Bucky stood up to greet her. Carter reported that Inventor Stark wanted to meet Cap. Carter is so beautiful. Cap couldn't focus, only knew what to look at Carter. He was too confused. Carter said she needed a friend to dance with, then walked away and left Bucky as invisible. Cap went in to meet Stark when he met a girl outside. This lady looked at Cap with a seductive look, then stood up and said something to lure Cap inside. She held his tie and started to kiss him. At that moment, Carter entered. She stood still for 5 seconds and then shouted. Cap was so bad, he lost all his image in front of his girlfriend. Cap then met Stark. The inventor made Cap a shield of uranium. It is the hardest metal in the world. That shield was later the symbol of Cap. Carter came in. Cap asked her if the shield was okay. Without saying, Carter picked up the gun and pointed it at Cap. She shot 4 times. Each bullet dropped. That time everyone was stunned. Don't play fun with women. In the next days, Cap accompanied his shield. He and his teammates chosen by himself, captured countless enemy bases. Winning reports came successively. Each base flag was taken down. The exemplary captain led his teammates through the terrain. They stood side by side and had countless victories. Colonel and Carter sat and watched footage captured on the battlefield. They saw Cap open something. It was a picture of Carter, the woman he really loved. Carter knew that Cap belonged to her. Not long after, Cap and his teammates performed a very dangerous mission. It was to chase Dr. Zola on a train at full speed. Cap and Bucky swinged down. They got into the train. The doors suddenly closed. They were split. The enemies were very strong. He possessed destructive weapons. Cap couldn't fight back. He jumped up using his shield to block the bullets, and smashed him down. On the other side, Bucky was also fighting with the enemy, but his gun was out of ammo. Cap opened the door and threw a gun at Bucky, and they combined to kill one. Suddenly the man with the weapon came out. He shot once which pierced the compartment. Cap fell. Bucky picked up the shield and shot back. He shot one more time and Bucky was pushed out. Cap picked up his shield and defeated that man. Cap climbed out to save Bucky. At that time, though Bucky had been clinging to the outside, but the situation was very dangerous. Cap tried to reach out his hand to save, but the stick was broken. Bucky fell into the abyss. He fell and screamed very loud. Cap could only hold back tears as his best friend left. Series of days after that, every day was a sad day for Cap. He always blamed himself for the death of his best friend. Carter came and encouraged Cap, so Cap could get over this loss. Not long after, Cap attacked the last Hydra base. He alone drove a car straight ahead. Losing a friend, Cap was determined to revenge. Cap defeated an enemy tank. He went his car straight among them all. Cap jumped out of the car. Time for the car to explode. After that he fell very bravely. He beat down one by one, but he was alone. They were too crowded, so they surrounded Cap. They spit fire to prevent him from running. The rest ran to point guns at him. Cap was brought to the commander. He started to scold him badly, then pulled out a gun to kill Cap. Cap's teammates was swinging in from the outside. Cap began a counterattack. He took the enemy to cover bullets. His teammates have arrived. They started firing. The enemies used very good guns but could not kill anyone. After a moment, they were all defeated. The commander started to run away. Teammates threw shields to Cap. Cap started chasing the commander. He was able to run onto the plane to escape. Cap caught up with him. He saw him. Cap tried to run fast to chase. But even though being a super soldier, chasing an aircraft is very difficult. Thankfully, the Colonel and Carter arrived. Cap got on the car. The car moved fast. It caught up with the plane. In the decisive moment, Cap jumped on it. He got inside, but the enemy fought back very fiercely. In the end, he was stuck in another plane. It flew downwards. After a while, Cap let go of the door to kill the pilot in it. He sat inside, and flew straight back to the old plane. Cap's face showed a terrifying consistency. In that dangerous moment, he luckily survived. Cap drove the plane straight into the cabin. He was lucky to escape. He picked up the shield. Cap opened the last door to destroy the commander. Cap threw his shield and hit the commanders. Accidentally hit the cube behind. The commander stood up. He held the cube as if he wanted to manipulate his power, but the strength of the cube was too great. It radiated maximum energy, then took the commander into another dimension. That killed him immediately. Cap sat in the driver's seat, but this plane can no longer safely land. Just a moment later it would crash into New York. On the other side, Carter tried to find a way to help Cap, but there was no way. Cap said he would have to crash it into the water. Carter was heartbroken, because she knew she was going to lose her love. Cap took a picture of Carter from his pocket, put on the control panel and looked at it for a long time. In the last moment, what he regretted the most, was his love was incomplete. He even owed her a dance. The plane then rushed downwards very quickly. They also lost signal. Carter could only hopelessly call out his name. The plane crashed into a large area of ice and snow. By a certain miracle, Cap was not dead, but he hibernated for nearly 70 years. When he woke up and ran out to Times Square, still those steps, but the scene after all these years has changed so much. The girl he loves is now 70 years older, and he still owed her a dance. The film ends. Cap is back, and later he is an extremely important character in the Avengers. Follow the page to watch more videos. Thank you.